It's always lit over at AJsRantRoom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRantRoom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. What up? Oh gosh. Happy hump day, everybody. This hurts. I don't know why it hurts, but it hurts. It hurts to talk. I don't know. It literally just started hurting to talk. And it's a little difficult when you are supposed to talk. So we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Welcome in, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you? Okay, great. Thank you, Inked. Appreciate it. Oh gosh, I didn't even know my vocal cords was doing this till I literally just started talking right now. Well, we gonna push through. Should have had like tea or something here with me. Yeah. It's like literally my voice box hurts. That's so weird. I only coughed like twice today. I don't know. Anyway, that's my personal issue. Anyway, we got a great show today. Trump playing 5D chess. We got Aisha Curry complaining about her great life. We have yeah, we have Candace Owens doing what Candace Owens does, and we'll unpack her latest set of theories and what is it, anonymous sources. Anyway, but let's start here though, because I want to talk to God right quick, right? For one moment, I want to talk to God for a moment. God, dear Lord, we understand that we're all gonna be called home one day. I understand that we are, but you called a few people home. It was part of our lexicon, our childhood. And if you could just slow down a little bit, I know you want some entertainment. I know you have a lot of people up there. I don't understand why you need so many this quickly, but you got Malcolm Jamal, you got Ozzy, you got Hulk Hogan. You got several other folks who have passed away this year, Angie Stone, et cetera, et cetera. Can we just take the rest of the year off? The last 3 months, just let us chill on the celebrities passing away because we good, we good. You know, we don't need any more of our childhood heroes passing away. Now, yesterday, Dolly Parton's sister asked for prayers amid because Dolly was supposed to go on a tour, and then Dolly canceled the tour for health reasons, and now you have the sister saying prayers. But then this morning, the sister was like, "Oh no, 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 no! I didn't mean it like it that." First of all, this is Dolly Parton, lady. Dolly Parton's sister. You don't ask for prayer. Thoughts and prayers amid a health battle. If the person's just has a cold or something, you know, or if they're recovering from a minor surgery or whatever. Um, you know, unplug. Don't get muted in here. Dolly, Dolly, you know what I say? Like Armani. When Armani passed away, it's like there's just certain people that transcend, you know, what they do. Like in ordinary circumstances, I guess Dolly Parton would be considered a country singer, but she has transcended country. You know, every rappers love Dolly. You know, R&B loves Dolly. Everybody loves Dolly, right? So when you announce thoughts and prayers, and you know, for folks like that, you gotta kind of think before you type or before you say something out loud, because people, of course, naturally, you're like, she just canceled a tour because we know Dolly don't miss no money. Molly, you know, Dolly getting out there to make that money. So if Dolly canceled the tour, she must really be sick, because if this is something she can't push through, then you know something's going on. So don't be scaring us like that. So even if it's not a big deal, which I don't know, I'm still on the fence about, because I think it might be a serious issue, but now she's just trying to downplay it. So folks over, but whatever's going on with the iconic Dolly Parton. Remember, she also lost her husband recently. I believe it was this year, or was it last year? It was this year or last year that she lost her husband, and she was married to him for like 3 million years, and nobody really knew he was because he didn't like the public eye. He was not that kind of person, and that's the kind of person you should actually marry, unlike Steph Curry, who we'll talk about in a moment. So, uh, prayers for Dolly Parton. Whatever's going on, please let it be something that she can survive and we can get through, and move on with life, and then get her back out on the road doing her thing. All right, cool. Prayers for Dolly Parton. Uh, but don't do that again, sis. um, so let's talk about this nonsense. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Aisha Curry is arguably married to the greatest NBA shooter of all time. She has a great lifestyle. She has a beautiful family. She has a great life. She wants for nothing. So it kind of bemiss me and a lot of people when you go on like the Call Her Daddy podcast and you say stuff like this.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals, and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why are you? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like,
First, I didn't know she was Canadian until is Steph Curry Canadian too? I don't know. Anyway, um, the reason why he doesn't care is because he's working his ass off to provide a great life for you. That's why he doesn't care. So, and you've tried to do businesses and you've tried to do things and they just haven't worked. Here's the thing. Sometimes we think we're supposed to do something, right? There are things we like, but we're not necessarily great at, right? And the spotlight isn't for everybody. In fact, the spotlight isn't for most people, right? And so it's this thing where I feel like I should be the successful one. I should be doing all these things. You are successful. How do you not see how you're successful? I don't understand it. We always want how we want when we want it, and just guess what? Sometimes life don't deal it to you that way. But this whole whining and crying, as you know, the 5 nannies are taking care of the kids, and you probably have never changed a diaper a day in your life.
It's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly.
Oh, well, you were having sex, right? um it's kind of like what's gonna happen maybe. When you walk through a cow pasture enough times, you're bound to step in something squishy. I'm just saying.
I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience
Okay.
that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that
You know, I wish I had the privilege to always be in therapy. I need therapy right now. I can't afford it. So the fact that you have the privilege to just go to therapy and just be in therapy, bitching and moaning that at what I don't know, you literally have access to all the capital that you will ever need to do whatever you want to do. So usually if you have the access, the money, the capital, you can hire the right people, you can have the whole team going, and if it still doesn't work out, maybe that's a hint or two from God that is not your life's mission. Or maybe try again. You have the capital, the means, you have the connections, the relationships. I don't understand why she's sitting here bitching and moaning about this. I just don't get it. And then I saw another video. I think it was Keita Rose. He's like, "Well, I understand women sacrifice things for, they're told to have babies." No, 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 no. Nobody put a gun to her head and told her to get married. You could say, "I don't want to get married right now." That could have been literally another option you could have had. If you were really hell bent on, in my opinion, if you were hell bent on, I want to be a career woman, you would have made that commitment and you would have never married Steph. That's it. But you saw the potential. You knew the life that was coming with this man, this gifted man. Like, you knew what was coming with that. Come on. I should stop the moaning and you look, I hate when rich people like this bitch about stuff. Like, you have the privilege to go on a podcast and talk about how rich and amazing you are, and how even though your career didn't take shape the way you thought, you're still not wanting for anything. You know exactly what you're gonna have for lunch, and everything is well to do. So
were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what do you do?
oh gosh. There's nothing wrong with being a wife and a mother. There is nothing wrong with being a homemaker, especially if the person you're building the home with is arguably the greatest shooter in NBA history, very successful, wanting for nothing financially. You can go out and start your own businesses, which you have tried, as I said. Here's the thing with people like this. Um, she can't stand to not be the center of attention. You know, she has this beautiful life, she has this beautiful family, and yet for some reason it's still not enough. That's a you thing. That ain't got nothing to do with Steph. That ain't got nothing to do with your children. And nothing to do with that. The life is amazing. But she's the type of person, she's not gonna realize how great she has it until she doesn't have it anymore. Like, God forbid something happened to Steph Curry and he's no longer here. She will then realize how great she actually had it. Or on the flip side, she might be like, hey, I waited all this time to embark on all of this money, which you still have access to. So it's really, really annoying when people don't know how to play their position. Right. No one said you had to be a homemaker and a housewife forever. Maybe this was the season you need to be that, right? And then now you get the privilege of going to podcast. No other housewife, very, very few housewives who get the privilege to go step away and probably fly private somewhere to go bitch and moan on a podcast. I mean, very few. I mean, but here's the thing. There's a few templates I have for like marriage. And I'll just stick at the public ones. One being, and I don't care what y'all say, is Erica Kirk, and how she has handled all of the stuff, right? And regardless of whatever, I don't care about your conspiracies. I don't care about any of that stuff. Hold on. I thought I put this on do not disturb. Oh, I put it on fewer interruptions. Full blown do not disturb. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, cool. So if your wife is not talking about you like Erica Kirk, or as I've referenced before in the show, Officer David Lee's wife. Let me show you Officer David Lee, and we'll give you a little backstory of Officer David Lee. So this was just over a year ago. Officer David Lee was killed in the line of duty. He was hit. He was at a traffic stop, and he was struck by an illegal alien who didn't have a license, who had no business in this country, first of all, didn't have a license, had a blood alcohol level through the roof, and it is now currently serving 7 years for domestic abuse. So he has that charge, and now he has the charge of murdering Officer David Lee. Now, if you hear the way that this man's wife spoke about him, if your wife ain't talking about you like this, I don't want it.
Today, for the first time, we heard from the family of Officer David Lee. His wife and son spoke with us from their home in Florissant.
5 on your side's Paula Bassan continues our team coverage from North St. Louis with that new reaction. Paula.
Well, all day, people have been coming to this memorial behind me, honoring the life of Officer David Lee. His wife actually told me earlier today that this rain is a symbol of Lee leaving this earth and becoming an angel. His family is now pushing for change. They want better safety for officers in the line of duty. David Lee started working as a police officer in North St. Louis City 18 years ago, around the same time he married Tanya.
I'm gonna miss him dearly because he was my yin to my yang, my best friend.
She brought us into the same living room where they talk for hours, clutching a stuffed teddy bear he gave her for Valentine's Day.
He was my one, he was my partner, my other half, one half of my heart.
His son Khalil shares memories of a father who loved his job, basketball, and guiding him through life.
He was somebody who I could talk to about anything. He's the reason why I chose to go to school for criminal justice and do what I'm doing now.
A man who put family first. Tanya recalls their last night together. They prayed as they always did, and he said something she'll never forget.
It was weird. He laid beside me in the bed and he put his hand on my thigh and he said, "Thank you for everything." And I said, "Oh, babe, thank you for everything." He said, "No, seriously, thank you for everything." And I didn't know this was my husband saying bye to me.
Now, if you ain't got that, if it ain't on that level, why would I want it? Why? I'm rich, I'm famous, I have attention, I can go anywhere I want to, I can do anything I want to do, and I'm still miserable. Aisha Curry, that's you. Ain't got nothing to do with Steph, ain't got nothing to do with your children. That's you. You made the right choice. You just got to see that you made the right choice. I don't get what the trauma is. What is the trauma? What is the drama? You have a life. I think most people, regardless, male or female, will be like, "Yo, sign me up." I mean, I don't need. Your business is not going to be on a Fenty or a Skims or whatever. It's not going to be on that level, and that's fine. Whatever success you find, that's great. But it looks like you're chasing something that isn't organic, which is why it's not working. Period. How? And I remember, yep, Prince. Prince, I remember we did this. We talked about Officer Lee on Trifecta Hour. Now that was the first thing that I pointed out. And we watched the piece. It was like, wow, look how passionately she talked about him. Like, if the passion ain't that, then I don't know. Because the passion is, me. Mind you, this is also a woman. I don't know their life or whatever, but I'm going to assume, because of the way she speaks, that she probably has a gang of nannies. She has a full-time staff. She's probably never changed a diaper. She probably never prepared a bottle. I don't even think she breastfed. She was probably like, I don't do none of that, That's my assumption, right? And so here's the thing. You made the choice. You created this family. I mean, you're having sex. You're going to probably maybe get pregnant. That's just the way it works. I'm sorry to break the news to you. But yeah, Aisha, look at your blessings and not your shortcomings, because trust me, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Steph Curry don't seem like a bad dude. He don't seem like he beating on you or he cheating on you or he doing anything crazy. So I don't get it. Again, I'm not there when the cameras and the lights are off, but at the same time, what's presented don't look that bad. And then you can kind of read energy, right? You can sort of read the energy of a psychopath in terms of like, if he was Ike Turnering you, we would kind of see that, or yeah, it would be an energy there of that, but there's no energy of that. So by all accounts, you have a good marriage, you have healthy, beautiful children, you have a great lifestyle. I don't know what you're bitching and moaning about, but again, we always want what we don't have. When you're skinny, you want to be thicker. When you're thicker, you want to be skinny. Like, we just always want the opposite of whatever. So anyway, she didn't talk to Steph about what she was going to talk about. Like, like she said in the piece, I already tried to talk to him. And oh, and I know she can't cook. She looked like she can't cook. Where's she at? Where's she at? Go back. Does this look like a woman that cooks? This woman don't cook. This woman don't cook. She don't clean. Yeah. Again, she got a full-time staff. She doing none of that. They probably got a nutritionist, a chef, full-time nanny, quarters. You have a privilege that most Americans would absolutely trade places with you on. But of course, it's never enough. It's never ever gonna be enough. But anyway, moving on. Oh, Candy. Listen, there's one thing about Candace Owens is she's like a dog with a bone. And no matter how much her jaw starts to cramp, she is not gonna let up. Now, I think I've been consistent. There's some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. Some things that seem a little weird, other things seem a little weird. And but here's the one thing that she's been consistent on is she has not let up. Right now, it was exposed yesterday that the text messages she exposed on the show from the day before with regarding Charlie, talking about Jewish donors, et cetera, was in fact true. It was confirmed by the Turning Point spokesperson on Charlie Kirk's podcast. And then Candace doubled down and tripled down. But also, even though Candace was right in that regard, it does not mean that all the other stuff goes out the window. The Netanyahu letter, the Catholicism stuff, all of that doesn't mean all that stuff goes out the window, right? So, I mean, you have to be a little touched to do what she does, Prince. God. Oh, really? Oh my goodness. So Candace, and I keep going back to watch this her podcast. I don't know. I don't know. But she says some very interesting things. From three people told her something about Charlie. Charlie cleared the day before he was assassinated. She has an insurance policy that she has sent out to folks, and we'll watch that video in a moment. But let's talk about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Was it, in fact, a political hit?
But I want to tell you that I actually believe that this was a military hit that involved foreign actors and also literal actors. I believe that day ran something akin to JFK's assassination. I believe that there were therefore multiple decoys on the ground. I do not believe, just so I'm clear here, that the person who was walking up the stairs killed Charlie. In fact, my suspicion is that that photo was not even shot on the same day. I do not believe that the person who ran across Losey rooftop killed Charlie. I think it was another decoy. I do not believe that shot came from a Losey Center at all. And we all know that decoy George Zinn didn't kill Charlie. And I received an interesting tip about him as well, that he's much more connected than what meets the surface. And he potentially has connections to the federal department, familial connections to the federal department. And we are prodding that. It's getting interesting. Anyway, that would suggest that there are thus for a total of 4 decoys, like George Zinn, staircase guy, maroon shirt guy, and Losey Center guy, none of which I believe actually pulled the trigger. Call it a hunch. I think it's much more likely that Lance Twiggs is the one that is walking in that maroon shirt. His build is nothing like Tyler Robinson's build. Lance Twiggs is thinner. And obviously I'm speculating here, but I believe Tyler Robinson was involved, and he was in fact driving around campus on that day, therefore assisting in the costume changes, likely picking up clothing. And as we broke the story, Tyler was seen at Dairy Queen. And what was he seen doing, as I told you? Dumping clothing in the cemetery beside that Dairy Queen. So I think that is what his involvement is limited to. That was his job, to get rid of clothing. It's completely a nonsense to think that a person who had never killed anyone was high on adrenaline after a kill and decided to eat Dairy Queen. That doesn't even make sense biologically speaking. There was going to be an adrenaline measure that kicks in after you kill animal, yet alone a person, yet alone having it be your first kill. And you're like, he just decided to go to DQ, sit down, write some poetic text messages. It's why they're freaking out about that Dairy Queen leak, because it disrupts their narrative. One of many things that disrupts their narrative. But what about Lance Twiggs?
All right. See, it's just enough. It's kind of like when you're eating clean, right? If you do it right, it don't taste bad, right? But it's still not quite the chemicals that you like. And I think part of it is to keep, obviously there's a win-win here, right? I provide the content, you come watch it, I benefit, you get some sort of entertainment and a little bit of information. Listen, I don't know. I've never killed someone, so I don't know what that feels like. Hopefully I never will. And so what that adrenaline level is, I don't know. Do you go eat after that? I don't know. Do you? So if Tyler was throwing clothes away, whose clothes was he throwing away? Are you saying he was throwing away the Twigs person, his boyfriend, girlfriend? That's the person's. this is the confusion that all of this causes. But I understand when you're unpacking something, it looks a little. It's just a lot of moving parts here. And so if this person is throwing away clothes outside the Dairy Queen, I don't know. I watched this episode. I don't recall her saying whose clothes. Maybe she did. I don't know. Maybe I tuned out. Maybe I went to the bathroom. I don't know. Maybe something happened. I think this was listen. This was her buddy, and like a dog with a bone, she is not going to let up until you give her what she wants. And that's the part I admire in this, right? And I know people are dogging her. Oh, she's not saved. Oh, she's blah, blah, blah. I don't care about none of that. I care about none of that, right? You got to know what to take and what to leave on the plate, right? So with Candace, it's a lot of that, right? You got to know what information to just say, okay, cool, let me let that rest over here, and all right, this might be work. This might work, right? So, but this is what I say all the time when I talk about all of these social media people, conservative, liberal, I don't care what they are, is don't worship them. Just take what they say with a grain of salt, and then we'll figure out where all the chips fall. Um, there are I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about what happened that day, and I would, her experience, different angles of the shot and blah blah blah, and SD cards and sort of implicating that turning point because she's saying it all without saying that one piece, right? That one piece, that turning point USA set Charlie up. She's saying she gets right to that point and then she stops, right? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, Sway. But and then obviously her disdain for Israel is I think of all of the social media conservatives, I think Tucker Carlson might be 1A in the disdain for Israel. So when you have the disdain for Israel, it's kind of hard, like because sometimes it's that friend that no matter what the other friend does, they ain't gonna like it, and so you're like, is it because you don't like them or is it because they're really wrong? So I don't know. Again, the chips will fall where they fall. Now I do say that I did give side eye to Turning Point USA when they validated that the text messages were real. My other point was, why did you screenshot it and who did you give it to that it leaked and then it got into the hands of Candace Owens? I don't understand stuff like that. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but in this particular case, was it a military hit? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, but I do think Turning Point just needs to be forthcoming. I think Turning Point is probably being just as aggressive, if not, but I'm not pointing fingers at this point because I don't know. So also Candace made it very clear that if you F around and find out, like if you attack her, if you take her life, there are at least 8 people on the planet that's gonna blow everything up.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So that if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real, okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from. It will be everywhere.
That's actually smart. When you know the block is hot, you need to make sure all your bases are covered, because if something happens to me, yeah, make it clear. Candace has declared she is not suicidal. Uh, Several other folks have declared that they are not suicidal. I think Tucker Carlson has also declared that he is not suicidal. So these people have declared that they are not. They don't have the propensity to take their own life. They're not going to do anything self harm in terms of that. So if something happens to them, and it's beyond their control. So I think when you're dealing with this very sensitive subject, and there are very evil people in these industries, Kanye was absolutely right. Kanye was 100%. And this is why they try to make the man look crazy. They try to, because one thing that irritates me is that when a person who may have mental health issues has a stance that you don't like, the first thing folks go to is the mental illness. Oh, well, they're mentally ill. You kind of just dismiss them. And I think that's very irresponsible of a lot of folks. And Kanye proved it with the text messages he released of that dude who happens to be Jewish. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Who was literally threatening to expose him, literally threatening to commit him again, and hype him up on drugs. Um, you know. I can't stand you. Now, Candace has also said that she's also said that she had a vivid dream this past weekend where Charlie came to her. Could you imagine dreaming about a man while you next to? Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. Charlie came to her in a dream and said that he had been betrayed, and she is unclear on who betrayed him, but that is her hunch, her instinct, and the dream was very vivid. And see what I said? When I say she gets to the line of blaming the obvious without actually doing it. So she gets to the line of saying, "It Turning Point USA set this man up for failure, because who else could have done it?" You have Jewish donors backing out. They're mad that Charlie is still associating with Tucker Carlson. Allegedly, he was about to bring Candace Owens back. Donors were like, no. But one thing I do agree with, that I forgot his name from Turning Point, who revealed that the text messages were real. I forgot his name. But he said free speech needs to be the North Star here, right? And so you can't say that Turning Point USA is an organization that is literally attached by the hip to the First Amendment and then censor people because you don't like you don't like a stance they take on something. But a lot of people who call themselves quote unquote conservatives do this. Yeah, I'm a conservative until I don't agree with something, and then I'm going to unfollow you, I'm going to block you, I'm going to unlike you, I'm going to mass report you. Then you're not a conservative. You're probably just a disgruntled liberal, who came over here thinking it was going to be like some perfect utopia and you're going to like everybody and everybody's going to like you. No, it's not how that works. It's never going to be that way. Oh yeah, that. Yeah, no, he's the spokesperson for Turning Point. I forgot his name, but he was on Charlie Kirk's podcast yesterday, and he revealed that text messages were in fact real. So it is what it is. But listen, we're having vivid dreams. It's a military hit. Obviously, she is blaming either Israel or Turning Point, and or saying there was some sort of conspiracy, and or I don't know. But again, a dog with a bone ain't letting up. So this was her buddy, and that's all I kept saying. Like when I was looking at, because I had like several photos to choose from, and I don't know why I chose this one. There were several photos of her and Charlie, because remember she shared a whole gang of photos um when Charlie passed away. But I mean, look, that was her buddy, you know. So if something happens to me and it seems weird, don't just go back to your lives. Oh well, yeah, we know the circumstances are a little mysterious, but we're just gonna keep moving on. Um, I mean, that is a good point, Pat. That's a great point, actually. Wait, where did it go? Come on. There we go. That's a great point, actually. If Turtle Point USA was involved, why would they say the text messages are real? I don't know. I think one probably because the text messages were never supposed to be seen. I believe he said that the text messages were turned over for legal reasons, and obviously there's a leak. You obviously have a mole in the ranks of Turning Point who's feeding Candace and other people information, and it is what it is, you know. But you can't say you're an organization for free speech and then you won't have certain people on your stage because you don't like their stance on Israel. That's a little weird to me, you know. These are the same people who are attacking Megyn Kelly for no reason. Megyn Kelly has made it clear what her position is. But if I can't, here's the thing. No. If I can't critique you at all, if I can't say this doesn't look right or this doesn't make sense or I don't like this, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why am I here? If I can't get you, if I can't critique you, if I can't say something ain't working or this don't look right, we're not friends. We're not friends. And yeah, so if you can't critique Israel, and if the only way I'm going to be supported is if I say Israel's great, everything's great, everything's great, I have no critiques, they do everything perfect. If that's what I have to do to be an ally to you, then I'm just not an ally, and I'm good with that. So, but to wrap all of this up, uh, wait, why is there another? What's this extra video? There's an extra video here. I don't know what it says, but I think this one is where Candace said yesterday that 3 people told her what?
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy
Oh, no, no, no.
of sorts,
Oh, no, no,
a
no.
package rather,
No, no, no,
to
no.
people that I trust.
No, no,
One
not
more
that
thing
one.
rather explosively. 3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me. Okay. He did not express that to me. So I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that. Now, again, those conversations I had were off record. I honor that. If I say it's off record, it stays off record. But I'm hoping that watching what I am doing and feeling the energy that is rising across the world for people who want to know what the heck happened on 9/10, that, you know, they will be brave and they will say, yeah, Charlie did the day before he died think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they? Who is the they that he thought were going to kill him? Now, to answer.
Can we get the they? I think once we know the they, we can then start really unpacking what we believe the real story is here. But this is, you know, these anonymous sources, this Charlie said this. Yeah. What is the point to be anonymous? I understand. Also, something that was said on the Charlie Kirk show yesterday was also this is an ongoing investigation, but also you have to understand the feds are very sus. You know, the feds are very sus. So if the feds are very sus and you're getting other information, you're kind of compelled to look that way too and say, well, is there truth to what's being said here? Because we've seen it. We've seen it happen with JFK. We've seen it happen with Martin Luther King. We've seen it happen with Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We've seen it happen over and over again. So why would you not be just a slight bit suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? So why would you not look a little, give a little side eye to the situation? Because obviously, It's not as clean as it seems. Also, I said it, and many people said it, that the footage of the person on the stairs, the grainy screenshots, I should say, of the person on the stairs, if you look at their lips, they don't match Tyler's lips. Tyler has full lips. The person in the video has thin lips. So that was the first thing that I noticed. I said, wait a minute, the lips don't match. How you get full lips? Even if you were going like this, you would be able to. You can tell because the other muscles have to move for you to do that. I don't know, but these sources, and it's just sort of like being led to nothing, right? And it's like if the sources aren't going to speak, then why tell us what they said? I don't know. You know, it, I don't know. Is it to prompt them? Are they going to come forward? I don't know. What do they have to lose by coming forward? I don't know. Maybe they have a lot to lose. Maybe they have everything to lose. I don't know. I'm just AJ trying to build a YouTube platform. So Candace obviously is going to keep digging and keep talking and keep pulling sources and resources, and more power to her. That was her buddy. Charlie Kirk was her buddy, and she ain't letting up. She said what she said. I just would like, less anonymous sources and more hardcore stuff, but also we have a trial and all this other stuff to get through, and we'll see how all of that happens. Also, who said they're not suicidal was Tyler, the murderer, the alleged murderer. Anyway, moving on. So I wake up today and I realize I'm not crazy. There's a name for the thing that irritates me. I'm the type of person I don't like loud chewing. I don't like smacking. I don't like slurp. Do not slurp your food. Why do people slurp tea? Why? Why do you slurp tea? Why do dogs bark for no damn reason? It's stuff like that irritate me to my core. Anyway, so I wake up and there's a beautiful video from a woman on TikTok in my text messages. Thank you very much, Ink. That put a name to the thing that has been a part of my life forever.
If the sound of chewing makes you feel like you're absolutely going to go insane, welcome to the club. It is called misophonia, and it is 20% of the population, not just you and I, who feel this way with like certain tapping or chewing or sounds that we just get like rage. And it is a real diagnosis. It is more common in people with anxiety or sensory processing disorders. I definitely cannot take different tapping sounds, different chewing. It makes me nuts. And when they did MRIs and they actually looked at the frontal lobe of patients who had this, there was heightened activity in the brain, and these patients, when somebody started chewing around them, started having increased heart rate, increased respiratory rate. So it is a physiological response on top of a psychological response. It's so funny because when you look up why some people say that this is an evolutionary response to like promote survival, I have no idea how survival of the fittest has anything to do with having disgust and annoyance at chewing. There is no cure, but if you're going to go and sit at Starbucks and you have to listen to other people slurping their drinks, just wear those noise canceling headphones. Actually, if you want, there's something called sound therapy where they like train you to be less and less averse to sound. I don't have time for that, but that's why we all hate chewing, misophonia.
It's not just chewing, it's also whistling. But there are certain people that can whistle and I'm not irritated by it. Like if it's a singer whistling, it's different. But if you're just like, shut up. Oh, misophonia is a disorder where you have a decreased tolerance to specific sounds and things you can sense are related to them. Yeah. Hi, my name's AJ and I have misophonia. Hi, AJ. Any sound can trigger misophonia. However, some sounds are much more likely to be triggers. Sounds on TV, the radio, or other electronic devices can trigger misophonia. Misophonia is not a phobia. It is a complex disorder which can cause people to isolate and avoid major life activities. More research is needed to help us understand what causes it and how it could be treated. I mean, I like being alone, but I still go to like if I go to like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts, I just wear headphones. And if you're like a violent eater, I'm just never eating with you again. We're just never gonna have a meal ever again. Ever again. So, of course, I mean, we just met into, I was going, I saw as soon as I heard it, I went down the rabbit hole and I found like things on Facebook, and I think I found, yeah, I got these from Facebook, and I was reading some other articles. I didn't have time to finish them before I had to get on here. But yeah, so I now have a name to attach to the annoyance of eating, of going to dinner with people and not making eye contact and just waiting for them to do. You know who irritates me? Uh, My brother will chew gum all day, the same piece of gum. He'll do it all day, and I just want to kill him. Because we're like, he's doing this shit on purpose. And then it'll be like the click, click, click. Don't click the gum too. Don't click the gum. Don't smack the gum. Just chew the damn gum. Oh God, Jesus. Well, see, that's why I gotta be in that Aisha Curry tax bracket before that happens. I gotta be in Aisha Curry tax bracket before that happens. Cause nah, ain't no way. F them children. Listen, first of all, whatever. I don't understand. I've said this before. If you're on vacation, or if you're just not, you're out of the grind of the, what are you rushing through a meal for? It's not like, oh, I have 20 minutes to shovel this bowl of cereal down my throat and get it going, or I have 10 minutes to eat something and okay, make it quick. You have time. You have time. Just sit there, enjoy the beautiful food. Oh, I had a Japanese friend in college. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Everything. Every damn thing. Oh my goodness. Jesus. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, yes. This is literally the mantra of my life. Everything's slow. I've always been late to the party for just damn near every category in life. I've been late to the party. You name the category, I was late to the party. Like, you shouldn't have done this. Okay, no, no, just getting it done now. um, anyway, so yes, misophonia. So when you have that friend who doesn't like the chewing and the smacking and the like yesterday, Prince sent a video. I don't know what the dude was about to say. He did warn. He said, listen, ignore the chewing and just listen. No, no. He said the first sentence and started smacking. I was out of the conversation. There's no way. I'm not listening to the rest of this. Nope, nope, absolutely. Hell no. No, good. Like, why the hell would you record a video chewing like a damn anyway? So yes, misophonia, stand up, and we will be right back. Hey. Oh, Democrats, Democrats, Democrats. So it was political all along. There's nothing to do with the people and nothing to do with health insurance. It was political because Democrats literally rejected the deal they asked for. Yeah. Yeah. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries rejected a 1-year extension of Obamacare subsidies, which Breitbart News has reported that Democrats essentially shut down the government over. So you're getting what you want now, and you're still saying no. The Hill also reported that Rep. Jen Kiggins, from Republican from Virginia, is advocating for legislation that would, quote, extend enhanced Affordable Care Act tax credit until the end of 2026. Jeffries, y'all really need to move on, find y'all a new leader in the House, criticized Republicans for thinking, quote, Democrats are going to go along with a 1-year extension. Bitch! This is what you asked for. That's like literally giving somebody what they asked for and they still complaining. It's still not. This is what you asked for. This is what you wanted. Understand? If this is what you wanted and you're getting it, how the hell are you still the victim here? Jeffries criticized Republicans for thinking, quote, Democrats are going to go along with a 1-year extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies. Oh my God. Rep. Kiggins is pushing legislation to expand enhancements of Enhanced Affordable Care Act credits, which expire on January 1 through the end of 2026. The proposal has bipartisan support, and some political observers view it as a launch pad for securing a deal to reopen the government. Now, of course, he's not in control here. He's being told what to do. So though he has other ideas saying a 1-year extension is a non-starter, he emphasized that President Trump and Republicans had adopted a permanent extension of tax cuts for the country's wealthiest earlier in the year. With that in mind, he's demanding a similar permanent extension of the ACA subsidies, which overwhelmingly help working class people. I don't think the government should be in healthcare anyway, unless it's Medicaid and Medicare. Whatever. That's another conversation for another day. But you didn't ask for a permanent extension. You asked for a temporary extension, and you got that. And now it's still not enough. Oh, no. Now we want to up the ante. But while y'all are sitting here playing emotions and politics with the lives of people, remember those tariffs? This was right after Trump got sworn in. Everyone became a tariff expert. Remember the tariffs? Oh, every live stream you looked at, oh, tariffs. He's going to bankrupt the country. Oh, my God. You're going to be paying $49 for an egg. Oh, my goodness. You ain't going to be able to afford nothing. Okay, so this is why you have tariffs. So President Trump secured $200 billion from tariffs to keep the Women and Children's Food Program fully funded during the shutdown. Checkmate, bitch. So now you can't say, oh, he don't care about y'all. He don't care about y'all. Oh, we'll just take that some of that extra tariff money. We'll just put it over here. Put it over there. So those tariffs are going to bankrupt the country, destroy everything, move it. Because y'all decided to shut down the government, you gave the executive branch this untethered access to the finances, right? So you don't have to go through Congress to get nothing approved. You can do everything. You can lay people off. You can cut departments. You can do all of that stuff from the executive branch now because the government's not open. The purse is dark. So since the purse is dark, the executive branch now has control. And you dummies are too stupid to see that by the time y'all come around, all of this is going to work in favor of Trump. So Trump says, quote, more than 200 billion coming into the coffers from tariffs. The women and children food program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. Some of the money will go to make sure that the program is kept up and running, said White House press secretary. No excuses. There's no excuses. There's no cuts. There's no excuses. This is taking care of families first. Period. I mean, of course they are. Of course they are. They have to find something wrong. Like, and I say this all the time. If somebody can do nothing right, chances are it's not them. If they can't do anything right, chances are it's not that person. Most likely it's just you. You just don't like them. For whatever reason, you don't like them and you're not going to work with them. And then also, as we continue to play 5D chess, Senate Republicans continue to work. Democrats continue to hold the government hostage for political reasons. And so Republicans said, all right, cool. We'll confirm 107 Trump nominees, including Herschel Walker and Sergio Gore as ambassadors, marking the second use of this Senate of a new Senate confirmation rule. Republicans opted to change confirmation rules to allow a simple majority vote to advance large swaths of nominees in response to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's and his caucus's blockade of Trump's picks that lasted nearly 9 months into his presidency. Typically, sub-cabinet level nominees, particularly those with bipartisan support out of committee, are sped through the Senate either by unanimous consent or through a voice vote to fast-track procedural moves in the upper chamber. But Senate Democrats refused to relent, and Republicans argued they forced their hand on a rule change that they believed would benefit both parties in the future. We got to get the business done. You know, we don't have time to deal with your emotions and your inadequacies. You people aren't smarter than the people around Trump. You're not smarter than those people. While you're sitting here playing Obamacare bullshit, we're over here doing the business of the people. We're using the tariff money for what it should be used for. Right. This is called the safety net, the security net that we need as a country, right? Some of the most recognizable on the list were former Republican Senate candidate and ex-NFL star Herschel Walker, who was tapped as the U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas, and Sergio Gore, a top advisor to Trump, who he picked to be his U.S. ambassador to India. Other posts confirmed include a wave of senior administration officials, several prosecutors, and the reappointment of Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Paul Atkins to a seat on the commission until 2031. There are still people who are hurting through this. So, you know, still several people who are not going to get paid or their benefits or whatever. But Trump is doing what he can to stop the bleeding while these people have their extended tantrum. Democrats are the only ones to ever shut the government down. They've shut it down 5 times. Democrats do not care about Americans. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about their constituents. They don't care about anybody but their own power and their own success. And this performative activism, these activists we now have as politicians, y'all need to vote their asses out. It's time. We're done. 2026 is not looking good for y'all. It's not looking good. And unless you find some way to cheat like you did in 2020, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So continue to play 5D chess, Trump administration. I'm sure some more things will come out throughout the day. and I will obviously keep you updated on it. But yeah, Democrats, you're still losing. You still suck. You're still emotional. You're still wrong. You cannot debate your way out of a paper bag. And you know what was so funny? I posted a meme on Instagram, which is basically Democrats never talk about pro-Democrat stuff on their platforms. It's always anti-Republican, anti-Trump. It's never about their accomplishments and of course their natural responses, because we're not in a cult. No, you dummy, you missed it. You missed it, you dummy. It's not about being in a cult. If you're succeeding, if you're doing something and you're successful at it, there's very few attacks to the other person. You're not attacking the opposition because you're doing so damn well that you don't have time to attack the opposition. You have time to tote your success. That's it. But everything is anti-Trump. Resist, resist, resist. Don't work with them. Don't do. You're not doing the business of the people if that's what your MO is. We're just not going to work with them. We're just not going to. We don't like it. We don't like it. He's fucking with your money. And that's what's not being said here. The cash cow, the USAID and all that stuff, he's messing with their money. That's why they're mad. They're not mad because this was slashed, because when you say, oh, he cut benefits, he cut funding to the VA, yeah, that's a blanket statement, but you didn't look where and why the cuts were made. Because it's Trump. If it was Biden, you would have looked. You would have gone and see, oh, okay, this is where the cuts were made. And it doesn't affect the veterans' benefits at all. But you don't care. Any cuts made to Medicaid, you didn't care because it's Trump. So you're not going to go look to see. You're literally just going to sit there and say, well, Trump made it. But if Biden did it, when Obama wanted to do it, nobody had an issue with it. Right. This reckless government that we have, yeah, you're mad. We messed up the cash cow. We messed up the money. We messed up your money. And now you're pissed. And so anything this man wants to do, even if it's great, you're not going to go with it. Because your commitment is to your power and your success and not the actual success of the American people. And for that, you should be voted out. And that's my TED Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all so much. If you would like to support the channel, you can head on over to AJsRantRoom.com. That's AJsRantRoom.com. You get this felon hat there. We also dropped our tribute to Charlie Kirk as our Freedom hoodie. You can go check that out. And please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And support the channel. We're very close. We're very close to the first tier of monetization on this channel. So hopefully we'll get there in the next week or so. That would be a blessing. Thank you so much, Lord. But for now, if you would like to support the channel, the best way is through the Rant Room. Through the Rant Room store, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? There was something. I just can't remember what it was. Oh, yes. This is why I need producers, because producers would have been standing right there with the card, like, say this. So there's been a couple of housekeeping things. So the Rant Experience, which is my weekly podcast, will now be on Friday evenings at 8 o'clock. So we moved it from Monday to Friday evenings. Trifecta Hour will come back in January. And we're trying to decide on what day of the week to do that. But the Rant Experience is now moved to Friday. Also, with this show, it's going to be Monday through Thursday. So there won't be a Friday lunchtime rant with AJ. So there'll only be Monday through Thursday. And then Friday evening, you'll have the Rant Experience show. So that's the housekeeping changes on the shows and the podcast and things of that nature. So once again, the Rant Experience moves from Monday to Friday. The lunchtime rant with AJ is Monday through Thursday, and then Trifecta Hour will more likely be Monday or Tuesday when we come back in January. So that's all I got for y'all now. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all. And I will catch y'all. Wait, today is Thursday? No, today is Wednesday. Now I was ready to be out of here. So I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.